Yo, how are we all doing? So you have to bear with me just a minute. I've just clicked start. I'm just going to get some music playing. Something that's not going to copyright me. Why does everything go full on this? So if we go music folder, and then we go to music, believe it or not, we eventually come to, where am I looking? Sorry, the mic probably sounds a bit awful. Music, shuffle. Oh, don't need that, do we? And then audio capture, desktop audio capture. No? No? No, you don't want that? Sorry folks, I don't actually know if anyone's watching. I've basically just pressed start without actually setting up. Right. Put this in here so I can hear the music that's playing when it's stopped, because it's going to stop. And then if I press properties, restart, there we go. You can hear music now, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. You should be able to hear music now. So, and then all I need to do is to get this monitor on the stream. Sorry, you probably see my big beer belly right now. And then, cool. And then if I just go onto here and tighten this up, because this spins all the time. How are we doing anyway? How's our week so far? Bit of a random stream, as always. We never do these planned. Just jump on whatever, you know what I mean? That's what we do. Hi Sam, how are we doing? Yeah, all is well. You've probably seen by the title that we're changing. Well, I am changing where we're heading. So it's not really. So basically, I've changed my mind of what I want to do. After speaking to a couple of people on the podcast this week, which I'm a bit delayed on getting them out. There's not going to be one out tomorrow. It'll probably be from next week. But I've decided that I want to grow the business as big as possible. So I'm going to throw everything I've got at that. I'm going to bring in a staff member. I'm going to invest in sign writing in the van. So over the next month or so, these changes will happen quite quickly. So I'm away. Van's been sign written while I'm away. The van's been looked at because it's got a few slight issues in mechanics, like the oil needs to be changed and stuff like that. Machine's being serviced. Sign writing's on. Staff member's going to come in. And then, yeah, we're going big. The idea is to get from where I am now. I want to try and make us get $5,000 more a month, and then once that starts happening, we're going to bring in another staff member to have two. So the idea is to get one in, teach them for a certain amount of time. Could take 2 months, could take 5 months, could take a year. Once they can go out and do a roof on their own, driveway, basically everything that I do now on my own, they can go out and do the work, the operations. The idea is then to bring someone else in to learn from that person, and so on and so forth. So then we've got a team of two in the van I've now got. I'm going to get a smaller van, I think, when this all takes place. Like, it's like 6 months' time or whatever. I'll go out in the smaller van, get quotes, get work. That's basically going to be my job. And then the one guy is going to go out, and if we've got a roof, we'll go out together. If it's anything else, he's to go out by himself. But I'll explain more when we get a few questions and things. There's a slight thing that's crossing my mind constantly, which is I think I'm putting a bit of too much effort into YouTube. I don't really want to have a break from it, But I feel like I need to, if I want to do this, I've got to do it. I can't just let it. I can't like magically make it happen. It's gonna be like something that needs to be my main focus. And every day I'm like, bang, I need to smash out jobs. I need to get work. Like I need to probably close like. I probably need to get like $3,000 of work booked in a week. $3,000 a week, cleaned a week, or done a week, and just literally aim for that all the time. I feel like it's fairly easy if you put all your time into that. Whereas at the moment, I'm putting all my time into the work and then getting home and trying to win the work, like half-assed almost. And it's just not working out. So, I'm taking a bit of a risk. But ultimately, I'm 21. If I don't pay myself for a little bit, it don't really bother me too much. Like, I haven't got many things to pay for. But fire away. Sorry, I've just gone off a little ramble there. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. And, yeah. Anyway, we've got 11 people watching. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go on here and give someone a message. Where am I looking? Have you guys been enjoying the videos lately? Oh, done that. The issue you have is you find someone with a bit about them, and then once you train them, they will question why they're working for you, and they can do it on their own. Yeah, well, this is the thing, though, is I've weighed up the whole process, and if they're going to do that, they're going to do it within 6 months. They're going to do it within a year. They're not going to have responsibility. They're not going to be like this team leader. They're going to be out with me for that. In that time, they're most likely to quit. I was listening to someone's podcast the other day, and they were basically like, after 6 months, you'll know exactly what someone's intentions are, and if they don't line up, or if they're going to get another job, so be it. We'll start again. But for the moment, I need to get work done quicker. I need to do more work, and I need to concentrate a bit more on the admin side of business because it's too much. And like I said, whether YouTube has something to do with that, I hope not. I hope we can, even if I just pile together some, like if I just record work and focus a little bit less on things like, I love the podcast, right? But maybe I need to just save them that time like I have been and working in other ways. Great videos, you're a hard worker. Cheers, Chris. Thank you, mate. It's very much appreciated. Yeah, the videos, like, I enjoy making them, but they don't bring me anything. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that. I mean, they don't bring me like any more money in, and that's the ultimate thing. Like, I'm just gonna be so aggressive now in everything that I do because I've basically spent the last week. I need to turn this music out, yeah. I can't concentrate. I spent the last week basically working out what I want because I've never really had like a goal. I've just been winging it, and I wanted a goal, and I wanted something that I could be like, right, I want to do this, and how do I do this? And I brainstormed for like 3 days. Just get coming back to me like. And yeah, it's all well and good now doing 8k months, 10k months all by myself, which is good, but it could be better and it could be more efficient with someone alongside. And I'm not going to suffer to pay them. What I'm going to suffer with is I don't really see a downside. I don't see a big downside. Let me know if you guys think I'm wrong, but I don't really see something that's going to like get in the way. We're going to have Matt join us for the chat about this. But, yeah. We'll see what happens. Anyway, how your guys' week's been going? I just wanted to show you, actually. I made some changes to... Right. Sorry. This is where it all gets confused on live. Because podcasts, I kind of do this while the guest's talking. Right. I wanted to quickly show you my... Evening, Gleam Guard. How are we doing, mate? You're all good? I just want to quickly show you my if it loads. If it bloody loads, mate. So, I've had a bit of like a branding change as well. Oh, no, let's take that off and go to... What have I done? Help. Add. And then if we reset that should be playing now. Hopefully still. Yeah, still playing that. And then I can't see. I can't see. Video capture. Device. Oh, right. Why am I upside down then? Edit transform. How can I crop it? Help. Right, anyway, whatever. Let's get rid of the webcam. Anyway, I've decided to make it a bit more personal. So, as you can see here, instead of like having like a standard stock image, you can see me, you can see a roof behind me, you can see it's clean. Right? And I've done the boring bits. Like, I want to change this as well. I just want to get rid of this. I want to have like a little video of me like talking, which I need to do. I've got my quote. I got this. I got that. And then I just got pictures down here. But I think what I want to do, scrap all of this, all this text, right? Or at least not scrap it. We'll just stick it at the bottom somewhere and have like a little video of me being like, so, you've clicked on the roof cleaning page. This is exactly what I do. I basically say exactly what it says here, but it's a bit more interactive. Do you know what I mean? And I say, click below for the get a free quote, and we'll be in touch within 24 hours. Yeah, whatever. People are more likely to watch that and just have a quick scroll and be like, oh, this is boring. And they get here. But yeah, don't know. All good, buddy. Work coming in slowly. That's good news, mate. That's very good news. We all like to see people busy. Let's have a look, actually. Let me have a look at your website. I won't show it off if you don't want me to. Oh, we spoke about this, didn't we? We did. We spoke about the start a phone call thing. But yeah, I've had a few cool guests on the podcast over the last couple of weeks. I haven't put them out, right, because, like I say, I've been trying to focus on other things. They're just sat there. They're sat there rendered out. I just need to upload them and things. I'm also like a bit unsure of what order I want to do them in. There's 3 that I've got files just here. Evening in Celtic external cleaning. How are we doing, mate? You good? Right. Let's go back to this. If I go onto studio mode here and then put that, you can still see this. And then I'll put my webcam. I'm going to sort my webcam out on this other screen so you can still see me, but I'm just not upside down. Properties. Boom. Right, there we go. I've done it. Transition. Look at that. That was smooth, wasn't it? So anyway, we're here. I watched. What the hell? I'm signed in. Oh, well, anyway. Let's get that off. I watched Sid's podcast this morning with Ryan and Dan at Curbside, Uncleanables. I thought it was quite interesting. I'm a bit like in two minds because where Sid is now is where I want to be in like a year or two's time. Not pushing as much money, obviously, because that takes years, but like, as in like staffing wise, as in like he can bring 3 people into a job and he can smash out all this work, and you know what I mean. You shattered my dreams last week. Sorry, mate. I didn't. Did I go in that bad? I didn't really mean to go in that bad. I just meant to like try and help you out a little bit. Yeah, should we check out some pictures? This was today's roof. Come up lovely, didn't it? Right, what? Mate, I'm literally signed into all of these things. That's not even my Facebook account. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so, anyway. Did a big roof clean. Mate, I've been so busy with roofs the last couple of days. Did a big one yesterday, Monday and yesterday with someone called Lee from Project Cleaning Services, which is nearby me. And we smashed it out. Took a day and a half. We were home at like 3 o'clock yesterday. Pretty nice job. Looked good, which is what I'm trying to show you now. But I'm just gonna log in, I guess, to Facebook, even though I probably don't know my login details. No, shock. Mate, why does it keep doing this? What if I log in on this one? Facebook. Right, it's logged me straight in. Let me change the screen. So my desktop video capture device. How do I change the device? Display capture. 2? Yeah, right, here we go. Right, what is going on here then? What? Mate, what is going on? Right, anyway, we're here. And then let me get the live chat on my laptop rather than on these monitors. So, just want to show you these pictures from now. So if I go over to my business page, here we are. If it loads anytime today, my Wi-Fi's surely not this bad. Right, here we go. So this was today's job. You can see a lovely transmit. Apart from here, the wind blew, right? You can see like there and there. So this should have been like a straight line. It's only like a few centimeters, like half a tile out. But my scaffold, I was set up like bang in the middle. And obviously you just can't like see, like ideally you'd have the tower like here to do a line. Or you can't use a Waterford pole because you've got nothing to hook it over in terms of the old thingy bobby. But yeah, that was, and then this was yesterday. Take a looky at that. Boom. That's what we like on top. Meal it. Yeah, that's the end of that. But yeah, this roof. It's a satisfying little video for you to watch. If you want to go watch that, it's actually a really cool video. Let's watch it. Right, how do I mute it? Hello. I can't, no. I can hear you slightly, but I can see you slightly, but I can't. Wait, hang about. Let me I can hear you like really quietly. Maybe hang on. Speak again. Oh, there you go. It's fine. That's fine. Sorry, folks. It's broken. Yeah, I've got the wrong monitor open. Right, how do I drag Discord then? Discord. No, okay, it doesn't fancy it. Why are MacBooks so broken? Right, ladies and gents, we've got Matt on to have a little chat with. If I can manage to sort it out, so you can see him. Here we go. Here he is. So, how are we doing, Matt? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been a busy few days.
Has it actually?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. How's the weather down your way?
Shorts and t-shirt weather, mate.
Yeah.
The moment the sun came out, I was like, right, bang those on.
It's bizarre though, isn't it? It's like cold in the morning, then it like brightens up, doesn't it? It's like 10, 11 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So you only work today?
I know my mic is so distorted on the live stream. Might be my end. You hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Yeah, perfect.
Let me know if the sound quality's down. I've got a whole channel strip that I need to sort out here. Sorry, what was the question?
What have you been up to today?
I went and quoted I did the inspection for a vet surgery. They want a load of stuff done. Big car park patio thing, all their gutter soffits, a big canopy. That was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
That was like a half hour drive away. Came back, did a big block paving biocide maintenance. I cleaned it in September, I think it was. August, September. They're on a March and September maintenance plan.
Oh, cool.
Returned to a roof inspection from a roof clean we did at the end of November. I always try and inspect between 12 and 16 weeks later, just to like see if all the moss is gone. After the biocide, it's a perfect time to kind of talk to them about other things they might want doing, especially like at the beginning of the year. Like, do you want your drive done? Do you want this done? Do you want that done? And then we'll go back, try and get them on the 12-month plan for the later in the year. So
yeah.
it's always good to do those.
What?
And then,
sorry, what biocide are you using at the minute?
back 50.
Using back 50.
Pure Seal.
I had a little thought to myself the other day because I've been back to a couple jobs, like 6 months they've been since I did them, and there were a couple of them with scrapes, and I like can't see much difference from when I left. You know what I mean? With back 50, like still like lichen spots, there's still like tiny bits of moss and things. Yeah, I was half thinking going back to GK Pro. That's all.
I mean, they're all DDAC based or back 50 based. It's all going to be the same stuff, just different brand names.
Yeah.
It's down to environmental conditions, how you're applying it, your dilution. I mean, a lot of people just ram it in like a backpack and don't even shake the backpack.
Yeah.
You want to kind of, stir that in. Get yourself on like a homebrew site or like Amazon or something for homebrew supplies, and get one of the big long plastic paddle mixers they use for stirring all the homebrew beer stuff.
Yeah. Is that one that Jake had?
Backpacks. Might be.
Yeah, he did use it to like mix. What's it, that Titan stuff? Is that what you're on about? Do you know what I mean? Like when it's on like a drill and it like.
Oh, that's a paddle mixer.
I'm
talking basically like a giant long spoon.
Right.
It looks like a plastic spoon.
Sorry.
It's like half a meter long. It looks like a wooden spoon. It's just plastic and half a meter. Just stir that up, get it in there, get it all mixed, and then apply it in.
I'm just a bit like, I don't know. I'm just a bit disappointed because there's some jobs like I did back 50, GK Pro, and then within like 6 months it looks totally like unbelievable. I just feel like do you think back 50 is just a slower result? Do you think it's just slower than?
I think it'll have the same result either way. Scrapes, they usually say use DDAC because it is the difference between the two is, from my understanding, back is more medical grade and DDAC is like industrial grade. So back 50 is a biocide they use in like beauty products, in medical equipment sanitizing, and in all sorts of very, very low concentrations. Whereas like the industry side for DDAC are used in very low concentrations to sanitize industrial equipment. It just so happens to be perfect for our industry and its uses. So it's antimicrobial, anti-fungicide. Fungicide, but kills everything. So if your back's not doing it, your DDAC might have a better result. It might have a worse. It's
Do you think you can charge a premium for biocide?
You should.
You think?
Opinion.
Yeah.
It is a cheap product. It is all over you can get unlicensed versions. Thing is, if it's unlicensed, are your insurance going to like that? Are they going to be like you're spraying an unlicensed product all over a roof or whatever? That's the advantage of like going for the say the Pure Seal goods, for example, when it's a fully licensed thing. You can check it in the COPRD database. I sell it as a premium because it is a specialist thing. We're maintaining long term. You could go in at 50p a square meter and maintain someone's big 200 square meter block paving for 75 quid or something, but it's like you're preventing them having to go through the whole pressure washing, labor side, resanding, put new sand in.
Yeah.
You're cutting that price down by up to a third or a quarter or something. So that's what I'm selling my treatment plans as, is every 6 or 12 months, whatever they decide, we can come back and, assess the situation, maintain
See
it
what's going
for
on.
longer.
I've never actually
And
bought
it's a
solid block
fraction of the
paving.
cost. We're not.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know why. It's just like I just bleach it and then they give me a call like a year or 2 years later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the hypo treatment is on the day, and then if we're maintaining it and coming back or biociding.
Yeah. I've had a bit of a change of heart, Matt.
Go on then. Spill the beans.
So I think have you been watching this before I got you on?
Literally went to make a cup of tea, as you said, and then I've seen your title, "Changing the Business Goals: The Beginning of the New."
Yeah.
That's a hint.
So I think I'm gonna try and make the business as big as possible.
Right.
I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna try and get a staff member in for April.
Okay.
Bring them in, teach them up as well and as quick as I can. I'm saying between 4 and 6 months to get them kind of okay. They're going to come out with me, obviously, for that time. And then I think then I can let them go off and do the solar panel cleans, the conservatory cleans, the block paving, the patios by themselves. And then I think once they, like after a year, like a good 12 months, I think then I'm going to try and get myself out of the everyday and get someone in so that this new guy this year can teach a new guy next year everything that I've kind of relayed. But obviously I have to intervene here and there and just try and mark it as big as possible, because I'm kind of thinking like if I don't pay myself if I give myself like 150 quid a week if I need to. Do you know what I mean? This isn't going to be a thing, but if I need to, just to get another guy out there and we're advertising more, we're spending more, it can happen. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that it's going to take a lot more like hassle and grief. So I was basically talking about like the YouTube side of things is probably going to slow down. Podcasts probably going to slow down, all that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
You say get someone on, train them up as quick as possible, as fast as possible, send them out on their own. What does that look like to you in your head right now?
I don't mean like make it a huge thing where I need to get them out as soon as possible. It would just be nice if, 6 months down the line, we could have a scaffolding on each side of the house and roof cleaned together out of like 2 vans, and I would just know that he's cracking on with it. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't want him to kill himself. So.
Well, yeah. You have all that to think about.
Yeah.
Insurances, liability, everything.
I know. Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? But it's because basically I did 2 podcasts on Monday night.
You've also got another thing you've said there, like send them out on their own, say in a year's time, and they become the trainer for the new trainee. And it's like, are you willing to hand over your trust of your entire operation to one person to train someone else?
This isn't like an in-depth. That was just like a quick summary. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
But in terms of like that, like as in the guy that has spent the whole year would clean the roof while the other guy's on the ground pushing the broom, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And then obviously slowly like does the garage and stuff on the ground. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. But yeah, that was just a quick summary. But like I said, Monday I did 2 podcasts with completely different end of the spectrum people, as in one of them's been going for years and it's got this huge thing, and one of them's just started, who we spoke about in Discord. And I basically started the business without any idea of what I wanted it to be. I just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
And
pick up the tools and go for it.
Yeah, this is the thing. And I'm still at that point now. And the other guy said to me, he was like, you need a plan, because otherwise you're never going to get to where you want to be. You're going to be in this, what I'm in now, of like, do I want to be doing full-time content creation? Do I want to be full-time working? Do I want to be on the tools at the time? And I was just like, I don't know. I don't have the answers to. Like, he was basically interviewing me, and I was like, mate, I'm completely like, it's blown my mind. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good goal to have if that's what you want to do for like push it, do it.
mm,
Like anything you do, you've just got to kind of jump in and give it your all.
mm.
Like, there's no point in like dipping your toe in and going half-assed with it.
That's the
If you're
thing.
already in this business, like you're going to either do it or you're not.
Mm,
But you've got to have a strategy and a
mm,
plan,
mm,
something in place to account. Like you've got. I think we spoke about this a bit in the Discord, didn't we? Like think ahead. What does this look like in 6 months to you? How? What does your 6 month plan look like? What does your year plan look like? What's your 5 year plan look like? And then reverse engineer that back to today. Like what
mm,
steps do you need to take to reach that? And the only way you can think of that is knowing where you want it to be, and then working backwards,
mm-hmm.
and then saying, right, today I need to like shift my focus and go down this path to make sure this is in place at this time for this thing in like a year's time to work.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for you, that would be like, you need to go, right, I want someone working for me full time in the knowledge, really invest in the business. That's like 1 year goal. You've got to kind of reverse back. Okay, what kind of person is that? It's going to have to be like a self-driven, self-motivated, someone who's wanting to
mm,
like progress, someone who wants to be like in a management position, let's call it that. Because if you're taking someone who doesn't want that responsibility, you're never going to mold them into that
wait,
person
yeah,
you envision in a year. So you need to kind of reverse engineer that and go, right, what kind of person am I looking for now?
mm-hmm.
You need
Mm.
that self-driven, motivated,
Yeah, yeah. This is the thing,
like
isn't it?
person with the management kind of drive. Someone who's organized, someone who is like able to make choices without having to be handheld.
Yeah, like
Someone who's
calling you
not
out about the
afraid to
tap.
make a bad like
Mm.
yeah. Because in business there are mistakes. There are good mistakes and bad mistakes. Good mistakes come from people that are not afraid to make the wrong decision as long as the end goal is met.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can make a decision that works for them in a situation where you're not involved, and then you come along and go, "I wouldn't have done it like that,"
But it
but
still
the
worked
end
out.
result is still the same,
Yeah, yeah.
and you've got to give that level of trust over. If
Mm.
you kind of restrict that, then you're going to have someone working for you that doesn't want to then work for you.
Mm.
You've got
Yeah.
a yeah, for a self-driven, self-motivated person, you've got to kind of give them some free reign, because you're just going to clash all
Mm.
the time.
When did
And
you
you see
draw up
that
your
in.
plan? Have you got? Did you make a plan? I'm guessing you did.
I'm building it.
Mm.
I've got ideas. I've got where I want to be. I would like to have in 5 years' time 3 people working for me taking like an office position, really pushing like more jobs, more getting more leads coming in, generating like that, doing like the office side, looking at sort of like how we get ahead of like any future regulations and
Mm.
all those kind of hurdles. But I'd really like to kind of push the commercial market and get into there,
Yeah, yeah,
because
absolutely.
there's going to be, no matter where you look, there's always going to be competition in this industry. But the commercial sector is going to be, in a sense, less competition. You're a summer warrior, pick up a 50 quid machine, and then just go at it for a summer. Is not going to be tackling big commercial industrial estates.
Mm.
That's going to be like specialist companies that are set up with staff, with everything in place, and they're going to be your competition. And it's less Wild West in a sense, not to put like that term in there, but the truth is it can be, this time
Mm.
of year, Wild West.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Winter gutters, Wild West. Like anybody and everybody can do this work, but to do it properly is a whole different ballgame, as you know yourself.
Mm.
You could hand over a pressure washer to your mate right now and go clean that roof, and they'll go, right, I'm up a tower, got a pole, water comes out, high speed, psh, the roof is clean. But do they know everything that goes into the thought behind that process? Do they
Mm.
know what machine is? Do they know what nozzle they're using? Do they know what pressure they should be using?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's people who learn the knowledge to do the job properly, and there's people that think they can do the job.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I want to get out of that kind of basic. I
You,
don't want to be doing a
you kind of shorten your competition as well, don't you, when you get into that commercial world, like you say,
yeah.
because there'll be less people that are, when you get into the commercial space, you're probably chucking on an extra 20k a year or so when you with commercial work.
Yeah.
Your kind of competition gets a bit.
You'll be fighting against people that also know the knowledge on what to do. You're not trying to like talk your customer into.
It's not a price war.
Yeah, it in a sense it can be, but it's not like. Let's just say like we use a licensed buyer side, and then the summer warrior guy comes along and gets something off the shelf at B&Q, and then convinces the customer it's just as good. When we know, yes, it can get a result, but it might not get the same result as some of the stuff we can get hold of. It's like you don't have to have that kind of conversation war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like you're fighting against people that know the knowledge. They'll relay the same knowledge as you, and it's kind of like how you present your business is what wins the jobs, not necessarily the price or things. Like it's more structure in that kind of competition.
Yeah. I've yet to do a proper commercial job. Have you done much commercial work?
Not like big industrial estates or anything like that. No.
I quoted a
The
few,
odd, small things, but
it's really weird with like quoting commercial jobs. I find every time I've done it, I kind of just like quote it as if it's a normal house. But I feel like now you can like kind of get on because the person you're speaking to, it isn't like their personal money.
Yeah,
you can like get on the phone and kind of like work out what they're willing to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to sell it to them because they have a budget to work with. They might have to get it approved by a boss or something. So you have to sell it to them, not like, oh, why you should do this. It's like why you should choose me and why this pricing is justified.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you've got to take into account all your insurances, all the special things you need to go behind yourself to cover yourself in the event of accident.
Yeah.
For example, like I sent you the T&Cs that I made up for the commercial gutter clearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like all that stuff in there. Not a lot of people know all those little ins and outs when it comes to things. So it's like all the information that goes behind building your business to win those jobs. You have to have that in place. And that's what the whole last 3 months of me has been about. I purposely took December off. January was kind of like a semi on and off month. February was just a bit of a disaster, but long story. Yeah, so I took some time off to really put things in place to push this year to where I want to be. So I'm not looking to take on every job or any job. I'm looking for very specific jobs to market myself, and it's paying off.
Yeah.
I've turned down a few little jobs that just weren't worth the hassle in a sense. Yeah, it could have been a good little earner, but it's not about money at that point. Like, yes, money is important when you're building a business, but it's more what you're doing is to speed up your end goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You kind of get like customers that are a bit annoying in a way, I find.
Yeah.
When like there's one I'm dealing with at the moment, which is a render clean, and I was like, how much you do it for cash then, mate? And I was like, no different, because either way it's going to go in the bank for me, because it all goes back in and try and reinvest and things like that. And he just didn't get it, and now I'm getting calls like daily, like, oh, you're going to come back round then? I'm like, well, I've given you the price. There's nothing more I can say. I can talk to you on the phone now. Do you know what I mean? I've said that like 3 days in a row, and it's just frustrating as anything. And like I'm just gonna, if he does call me tomorrow, I'm probably should be like, look, it's just not for me, mate.
That's not your customer.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They want something for nothing. They'll probably say, oh, while you're there, do this. While you're there, do that. Oh, how much for this? Like cash. It's like they don't understand that you not putting money through the books, taking cash job, hinders your chance at getting like business loans later on, because things like that, if you take on like a huge project and you're like, wow, this warehouse needs this, I'm going to need a business loan to fund this. You try and go for the business loan, they'll be like, okay, what's your books like? This is the most we can offer you based on what's gone through your books. It's like a lot of people don't see that when they take cash as well. You're really hurting your business by that quick, like 50 quid you're sticking in your pocket to go down the pub with on the weekend is hurting your business if you're trying to grow something like a bigger operation. If you're quite happy, like being a one-man band, like whatever, day rate, take whatever, happy, great, good for you, but yeah.
No, it's a weird talk, isn't it, about cash? Because another person might say they really they're happy to take cash for a slightly cheaper thing, but Like it generally is more of an annoying thing for me. I actually get annoyed when I get cash
Hmm.
because I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've now got to go into 20 minutes down the road to go stick that in the bank.
Yeah,
Like, do you know what I mean? It's just more of an annoying thing, and I won't never take
yeah,
any just because everything I spend either goes back into the business or it's being saved towards something in the future. Do you know what I mean? Um,
yeah,
and a few beers at the weekend, it's just like, nah.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And there are some customers that want to pay in cash. They want to they're quite happy to pay the full price, and their method of payment is cash because
Mm.
they don't want to deal with bank transfers. They may not understand how they work, or maybe a bit dubious about them, so they work in cash. And you usually find that with like the older generation, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
completely fine.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's still got to go through the bank one way or another
yeah.
for it
So
to work. So
let me reword that. Sorry, if I get to a job thinking also well and good, sending an invoice and getting bank transfer, and they just give me cash at the end of the job without any like
yeah,
previous that's when it annoys me because I'm like, oh mate,
yeah.
yeah,
On every quote I do, it says bank transfer is preferred payment. Please tell me in advance if it's cash.
yeah, yeah. No, I've just got.
Um,
I think mine
and
just
it's
says
in there.
any,
Yeah, yeah.
but I've.
I put down the payment methods, but it's like this is preferred. Please let me know if this is not happening.
Mm.
Because it's yeah.
What do you think? Did you see my drone pictures yesterday?
Yeah, the one I mentioned about good Photoshop, mate.
Yeah.
That was a good job. Did you
um,
say you had help with that?
yeah, so it's not actually my job. It was someone that literally down the road, like 5 minutes. You know, I told you like I befriended a few people in the local area to kind of like work with every
Yeah,
now and again. Literally, he's the first person that messaged me saying, "Oh mate, I need a hand. Come and help me." So he literally
yeah,
split it. Well, we split it like 45-55 because he did all the chemical side. So he bought the biocide and applied the biocide, and I'd already gone at that point. So
yeah.
yeah, we did that. I did all the outside. He did all the inside, and I was done after the first day, but obviously we then just didn't tidy up like properly, so we left like the gutters slightly full overnight and things. And we went back the next day, smashed out the gutters, and treated it all and all that kind of jazz. Um, but yeah, no, it's quite handy actually. You get like a bit of a feeling of what it would be like if you trained someone up and worked with them because you'd both just like going and you know exactly you
Yeah.
can trust the other person, nothing's going wrong. You have to keep an eye out. Do you know what I mean? We were just cracking on with our own thing.
I mean, why couldn't you build your business alongside that person that you've just done some work with? Like, you know,
Mm. Yeah, we
not
spoke about
necessarily
this.
like, yeah, just do bigger jobs together and
Yeah.
do that. I work with Dan from Radiant Bristol,
Yeah, yeah.
local to me. We do a similar thing. It's like we have our own businesses, we go and do our own thing, and then when a job comes in, it's like this is a two-manner, or I need help for a day, call me in or whatever, or call him in. It really does work because we both know the industry, we both know what we're doing individually. We don't have to kind of train each other. If we do have a problem that stumps us, we get to talk it out and kind of solve the problem
Mm.
as my eyes, his eyes, kind of shed light on things. You kind of get it done quicker. If I had sort of like a labourer or just taken on someone that doesn't know the industry and maybe doesn't even care about it, it's like how much quicker am I going to get through jobs? Will it just slow me down?
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think this is the arrangement we settled at is that if it is a big job, we would do it together. But
yeah,
we're never
just
going
book
to
it in
get to the
advance.
point where it's like every roof clean we're going to go in together because calendars, do you know what I mean? It just wouldn't work out.
Yeah,
Obviously, in some ways, you could probably try and do two a day, but it's just like a calendar headache. Do you know what I mean? Like we were talking the other day because Lee's also got like this big block paving at a warehouse outside like the car
yeah,
park, but they won't let him do it during the week because they have like 60 cars that park there to work in the offices. So then we were like, right, okay. Worked out weekends. We'd be there for about 7 weekends, Saturday and Sunday. And then if
hmm
we'd have to do it in sections, we'd clean a bit, resand it, and then go away for a week and then come back and then clean a bit and resand it. And it was just a huge faff that we just were like, nah, not for us.
yeah,
Because even so, you'd be working 5 days, 4 days, 3 days during the week or something like that. Job overruns. You're going to be exhausted for 7 weeks.
yeah. Of course, of
Yeah.
course. You can't do. You've got to take breaks. I think you learned that recently. If you don't take breaks, like I have a strange structure, whereas I don't really care about the usual Monday to Friday and then the weekend off. I'm like, I will work whatever days, and then I'll take a day off.
Mm.
So after the end of each project, I book effectively a day off, an office day. If a job overruns, I've got that buffer, so I'm not stressing trying to rebook diary.
Mm.
And it's like a nice little reward. I could do 3 days here, day off, 2 days here, day off, and then 5 day project or like a stint of small jobs that are kind of similar. And it's like, yeah, do that, day off.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for everybody. It works for me.
I've
Um,
I've
kind of built
systemized
in
it.
that
Sorry,
force time.
carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say that it forces you to have that time off.
Mm.
Because if a job doesn't overrun, it's like I know that tomorrow I just don't book anything. I'm cool. I can do what I want, use it as an office day if I want. I mean, right now there is no time off for me. Every day is to do with business because I want to grow. So I am 7 days working, but I may not be out on the field 7 days a week.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think what I learned is that I need to just do 4 days, 1 day off, 4 days and 1 day off.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I take that day off and just lie in bed and watch Netflix all day. It's like just chill a bit. Do you know what I mean? Just work on something. Even if you're going quiet, even if it's like a smaller job, and just take half a day. That's what I've kind of tried to do. So instead of being 5 days and trying to do as much as possible, it's now either 6 days and a half day in between somewhere, like Wednesday or Thursday or something like that, or it is 4 days, smash it out like this week, and then Friday all I've got to do is go and repair some gutters, and then I've got 2 quotes to go and do, and I'm home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's a thing though, isn't it? It's like Lee, who I was working with, he says it as well. He's like, when I do a roof, if I do one a week, I am still feeling it on the Friday. And I was like, I don't feel it. I just get like mentally and physically exhausted doing everything.
It's a big job.
Mm.
I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is they try a roof for the first time. They're like, oh, it's not that difficult. And then they try and book in a ton of roofs, then realize that it catches up with you pretty quick. You're using muscles that you're not used to using, that you don't feel. You're tense all day trying to, like, hold off the pole, high pressure at a distance. And then you got, in the winter specifically, it's like cold winds battering you. You don't really realize the effect of that until a few days later.
Oh, it's a bit
And then all
grim,
of a
innit?
sudden you're just broken. Yeah. And I think you how many roofs do you do in a day once? Like 6 roofs in a day or something? 6 roofs in a row over 6 days?
Yeah, so no, 7
that you?
days. I did
7 days.
3. I'd say 3.5 roofs because one was only one side.
Yeah.
But it wasn't 6. But this week it will be 3 in 5 days.
Yeah.
And then next week is 2, and then 2 driveways, and then I go away. So the idea is just to do it all, feel exhausted, and go away. That's my idea. But yeah,
The way to do it.
yeah. No.
It's
Did you watch
Yeah.
Sid's podcast today?
No, I haven't caught up with that.
No.
I'm still trying to catch up with all the uncleanables. I think I got like 3 episodes left, and then I'm up to date.
Yeah.
So I think I've got 1 to watch. Then it will be we're going on a road trip, and then it's
okay.
the recent one they did in the studio, and then it's I think
Sid's
Sid's
one.
comes out
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that one. Yeah, so I'm 4 behind Sid's yet.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't watch Saturday's one of Ryan and Dan's yet. I'll probably listen to it tomorrow on the headphones or something like that. But I saw Sid's one coming through literally on my phone as a notification as I pulled up to a job. So I was like, headphones sorted for the first start.
Yeah.
And he's cracked on. But yeah, no, it's good listening. You kind of just like get a quick summary of start, middle, end, and what's going on with like staff and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good. It was a good chat. Good chat.
What I've always found funny about Sid's YouTube adventure, like when he first started, you watch all his old videos. So I don't know if you've ever watched his old backlog. I've seen it all. He goes through like knocking on doors and window washing, and that was it. And then he kind of scales it up, and he gets to a point where he's like, I don't think I ever want to clean roofs. And now his main business is what we see on YouTube is just roof after roof after roof after roof. And he loves it, I'm assuming. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it. But it's just funny going from that dynamic of like hating a roof, never wanting to do one again, not doing a roof, and then all of a sudden, like the whole business is based on that. It's that whole like never say you're not going to do something in business because you don't know how that's going to form later.
This is why I didn't always believe in making goals. I was just kind of winging it because I was just like, things change, circumstances change. Do you know what I mean? Like tomorrow I could break my arm or something like that and not be able to do anything other than like kind of like moving a pole or something with one arm. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that might completely mess everything up, and then your circumstances change, and your goal's no longer achievable. So you set a new one. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's like goals keep you motivated because you're working towards something. Without an end game, it's like imagine watching a movie, right? This is going to be a very stupid, off the top of my head analogy. You're watching Lord of the Rings. You go through the first two films, extended editions, and you get to the third, and it gets halfway through, and then the credits come up, and that's it. You never see anything else, and it's like, well, their goal was to put that ring in the flame. What happens? Like,
yeah,
you're gonna be confused. You're gonna be scared. You're gonna be like, what's going on here? You're gonna hate it. So a goal gives you like something to work towards. We all know what a goal is. I don't have to kind of explain that. But goals can change, and there's no problem with goals changing. In fact, if goals weren't changing,
be
is
worried.
there a deeper problem? Yeah, be worried because there should always be like a goal to change. I was a little bit like Jake in the beginning. I was like, I'm just going to do pressure washing, and it's just going to be pressure washing. I don't want to do anything else. And it's like that's kind of changed now. Like I want to really push into the more specialist services like timber restoration, patio restoring and restoration, tarmac sealing, repainting, recoloring, all the like those things.
Yeah,
And I want to get away from like just pressure washing. And it's like my goal has changed
yeah.
dramatically.
Do you think the terminology of steam cleaning instead of pressure washing makes a difference? Do you think?
Yes and no. If you can educate your um the you can if you can educate the people you're reaching out to what steam cleaning is, then it changes a lot. It becomes more of a luxury service. It becomes more like a ooh, that's better,
Mm.
a specialist service. If you just say steam cleaning to someone, they're thinking like, oh, what are you doing? Cleaning a sofa? It's like
Yeah.
people don't realize with this industry, like there's still a lot of clients out there that think if you're a pressure washer, you're turning up with a little karcher blasting water. They don't understand you've got big heavy machinery in the back of your van to cope with these jobs. So to then go steam cleaning to people who don't know that exists, it's like, what are they portraying in their mind? What are they kind of envisioning? It's like you're steam cleaning my roof, or what are you doing? Crawling all over it with a handheld machine. So yeah, I think as a luxury service, steam cleaning is, that'd be epic if you can push that, but you've really got to find that niche of people that are interested. And
It-
that's going to come.
The only reason I ask is because do you ever find it tough to sell to someone what? Like, how would you even phrase a roof clean without steam?
How would you phrase a roof
A
clean without steam?
Yeah, I'm not going to say what I say because I wanted to hear what you say. If you know what I mean.
So if I'm okay, so just so I got the scenario, I'm at a customer's house and I'm
You
selling
just-
them a roof clean.
Yeah, with just a pressure washer,
Um,
no boiler. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all van mounted equipment. We're on a tower. It's all long reach telescopic tools. It's very low pressure, between 60 and 80 bar. Sometimes we go up as much as 100 if needed. I always tell them that's half of a domestic Karcher machine because a domestic Karcher, I believe, is locked at about 130 bar, if I remember correctly, something like that. 1900 psi is 131 something. So I will always kind of like make that point, and it's all high flow, like more water than pressure. And that's how I basically sell the idea of washing a roof. If I were to add steam in, then I haven't even thought about that, so I wouldn't know what I would say right now. But it'd be like steam cleaning your roof,
Yeah. The only reason I ask is because
pressurized steam.
I always go a low pressure clean. I don't know why. It just sounds like I don't know. It sounds like something's missing. I don't know why. Like if I
Yeah,
say
the follow up is missing. A low pressure clean, which means, and then explain it.
yeah. Yeah.
You've got to explain what your words mean because people don't know. We're in the industry, so you say low pressure clean to me. My head goes probably around 80 bar,
You
200
yeah.
liters a minute. When you've got someone who has no clue, they're just looking at you and going,
What does that even mean?
yeah. So you have to go like, and that's why I use the Karcher based thing. It's like they get an idea that okay, our machinery's really powerful and really high tech, and it's like, oh, that's a lot of pressure. And then you go 80 bar, and they're like, that sounds like a lot. That's a big number. And then you go, that's half of a little domestic machine. And then it draws a picture for them. They kind of get an idea of what's going on.
Can you compare bar to kilos? That might sound really dumb.
Elaborate.
Like if you said, like,
How do you mean?
if you had to like work out, so say for example, like hypothetically, I could go to a customer, I'm going to use like 80 bar on your roof, which is equivalent of 20 kilos or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's PSI is pounds per square inch.
Yeah.
So that's pressure, but like it adds a weight to the pressure.
Right.
So for a square inch, you're applying, say, 100 pounds of pressurized weight. I don't know how to. I've not ever had to try to explain.
Right, sorry,
that.
yeah, I think I've just like.
So you could, in theory, say that, but you're just muddying. I think you're just muddying something because then you add weight into it, and then people are like, "Oh, should that?"
It was just like
go onto my roof, and
a case of saying like, instead of me standing on it, it's going to be like. No, I don't even know. I wouldn't even. I don't know.
I think that's, you don't need to go into that level of detail. Like, just explain to people your process, what you're doing, what your machinery is capable of, and how you're using it, and compare that to something they would know.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows, don't put your finger directly in front of a Karcher because you're going to rip the skin off, and that is true. But it's not going to pull up block paving, sand, and weeds as easy as our machinery. So if you can kind of give them an idea of what we're using, how we're using it, and why, that's just enough to win.
I think,
and you got to think, like, if you show that level of knowledge and they've got two other people prepared to come and quote, you're giving your customer some ammunition to then question your competition on how they're going to explain it. If they can't answer the questions, you've already won that customer over. Because your questions help the customer baffle your competition. So if you can give a description of what you're doing, then I think that's the most important sales tool.
Would you rather be like...
A lot of people go, it's just too much information. It's like, no, give them as much information they need so they can baffle your competition. Your competition goes, yeah, and then you win the job.
Would you rather go, like, say if a customer had 3 quotes, would you rather go first, second, or last?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. No.
The customer are going to choose who they want to go with, and the customer could be price driven, they could be personality driven, they could be like, what experience does your business have? Are you visible online? You just don't know what a customer's looking for, so I don't think that matters. Being first gives you the chance to ask the questions that they can baffle the competition. So naturally, I think first would be better. But if someone else has quoted before me, it doesn't bother me.
No, you're only curious.
Yeah,
I get quite, because of where I am. It's not like a city or anything like that. It's just like small little villages that come close by a town or something like that. I'm normally one of the only ones that quote. I'd often just like say, "Oh, have you had anyone else to come and have a chat with you or anything like that?" Because then it just skips out the whole part of like, well, I say skips out the whole part, but it's less about like the standard stupid questions. It's more about the method and the approach rather than like, have you got a tap? Do you know that I need a tap? Do you know I'm not going to bring my own water? I need to use your water. Do you know what I mean? Like those kind of questions. I just know they're already out the door. Do you know what I mean? But like, so how often do you get that? Like, oh, do you bring your own water or do you use mine? And I'm like,
I've had one person question the water, and then when I said, well, I've only got a 250 capacity tank, which means I could turn up to 250, but I need to top it up. They're like, why do you need to top it up? And it's like, you have 235 square meters of surface to clean here, and that thing pumps out 21 liters a minute, which gives me about 12 minutes of running time. I'm not cleaning this in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I have to explain what a buffer is, like, because a lot of people don't understand that word, which really baffles me. The amount of people, especially in our industry, don't understand what buffer means. Like, it is a buffer.
Yeah, just like what?
This is your reserve, effectively. Like, that's how I think of it. So,
it was quite weird actually. Sorry to intervene.
Yeah, you can.
No, right.
Oh,
very briefly. I did a little test yesterday. No, yeah, yesterday. So Lee has a hose lock, standard hose. I've got the thick stuff, the Tricoflex stuff. I've got a buffer tank, all in the van. Lee's got a wheelie bin, right? I didn't go below like a full tank when cleaning the roof. Lee ran out about 4 times. We were on the same tap. We had a little dual splitter. So, what would you put that down to? The hose size.
So the bigger your hose, the less resistance.
Mm.
So you got to think water is shooting down a hose, goes down all your fittings, and then any kind of restrictions. So you might have a joiner. If you're restricting from say 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch on that joiner, then you're only as good as 1/2 inch.
Mm.
So if you've got 3/4 from tap to tank, you're going to have the least resistance overall. If you're going through so many different fittings and smaller hose, you've got higher resistance. Therefore, your flow is not. You're going to reduce your pressure of flow over the distance. So if you had 250 meters of hose, what's going to come out the end quicker? Less resistance or high resistance?
Yeah. You're just curious because obviously a wheelie bin's like 100 and what litres, something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you've got my tank, which is 210, I think, 210 litres. So, and mine didn't go above full.
You also got to think on a splitter, you're sending water down a hose and it's getting split. Water is always going to find its least point of resistance and that, so it's going to naturally send more water down your end of the hose, so you're restricting his side even more naturally. I can't remember what the name of it is. It's like the Bernoulli principle or something. It's like water fluid dynamics. It kind of explains it. If you go through like a joiner, you create like a little vortex just after, which can slow down water flow as well. So that's why they say if you're measuring, say, 15 litres at the tap, you're not measuring 15 litres
At the
a
end.
minute at the end. And that's where a lot of people are like trying to go for like, I'll get a 15 litre per minute machine because most of the taps around here are like 15, 14 litres. And it's like, yeah, but you put that on the end of your hose, you're only getting about 9 to 10 at most. Especially if you're going through all sorts of different fittings and whatnot, it goes down. Like, it's surprising how much it drops.
No. I have been told that you can change pounds to kg. So £100 is 49 kg. Oh.
Yeah.
So
pounds per square inch, kilos per square inch.
So basically, my thing is useless because you're not going to go up to a customer and say, that's about 30 kg on your roof, mate.
Yeah, per square inch.
Yeah. It still blows my mind. I have a 3/4.
And it's not.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. Yeah, I think you're just muddying, and you're leaving yourself open to questions that you might not be able to answer, and then it makes you look like
An idiot.
You've read something and not understood it.
Yeah. No, I think I'll just forget about that.
Puts people off. Yeah. This is another this is just off the thing. A lot of people go to ChatGPT and ask it a question, and then they'll relay that to a customer, and then the customer kind of knows a bit about what they're talking about. Then they'll ask a question back, and people can't answer it because they haven't done the research. They've just asked an AI bot to spell out an answer. They'll relay it kind of without understanding point behind it, and then people get caught out that way. Like if you're going to tell a customer something, at least understand it.
Yeah.
So again, don't try the whole kilos per roof, because if you don't fully understand what you're talking about, you're gonna catch yourself out.
I'll get one question back and be like, anyway.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna forget about that. Gleamguard said it still blows my mind that I have a 3/4 inch hose and it really does work. All my fittings are 3/4, but every outside tap runs at 15 pipe, millimeter pipe. I don't know what size. Mine's got to be 3/4. I think it's not an inch. How big? It's 3/8 is smaller.
So
than
3/8 is your pressure washing hose, your high pressure hose.
That's
average.
That's smaller than a quarter, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smaller than a quarter. Yeah.
1/4 inch. Well, 1/4 inch are the fittings that go onto it. So, what we're talking about. So 3/4 inch is 19 mil, and 1/2 inch. Outer diameter of 1/2 inch is 16.5, so I think it's 13 mil in your diameter on the 1/2 inch. In fact, I don't know my numbers off my head.
Have you got old equipment that you bought and just don't use anymore?
Have I got old equipment I bought and I don't use anymore?
Like your hose lock, hose reels, and things like that.
Nope, I still use it.
Mm.
I'll use something until it breaks, and then I'll try and fix it. And then when it doesn't work anymore, then we buy new.
It's only because I've got like the wheelie bin with like all the fittings. I've got 2 hose lock hose reels. I've got lances. I've got like 3 Q spigot guns and stuff I just don't use.
But they're good for spares.
They're good for spares, yeah. They are very good for spares. But at the same time, if my van mounted system goes wrong, all of the weird like hose and fittings and things are just all like the hose that goes from the machine from the tank into the machine would never be able to then re-link up to the bin. I don't think, because the hose is like that long. You're on
so you want redundancy effectively, and
it's just useless.
Spares always good.
Yeah, but
you never know when that'll come in handy. The old hoarder mentality.
Yeah,
especially if you're trying to grow your business, like keep hold of all the assets that you can. Don't just chuck things away unless you really have to.
I kind of regret selling my old machine now.
Yeah,
but it was crap. Like you couldn't not have the trigger pulled if it was on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But it's still a backup to get you out of the lurch.
Yeah. It's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I still wouldn't have used it to this day. But at the same time, I got my money back from Amazon. So it kind of worked out. Kind of didn't. I don't know.
Yeah. It's not a lost investment if you've got your money back, so...
Yeah. You making any upgrades in the next few months?
I'm looking at a bigger van. I want to upgrade from the Caddy. I've been looking at like crafters and sprinters and all sorts. I want to put everything side mounted. I want all my reels mounted on the front. I want to put a big soft wash unit in. So I'm kind of a bit bored of mixing tanks in the backpack or pre-mixing into bottles or whatnot. So I'm like, yeah, I just want 3 or 4 different tanks. I want one that I can just put synergy into, one that I can just put like hypo and fact to, and one for TFR or something like that, whatever I decide, one for back. It's just like, yeah, 2 pumps, one to feed like the synergy or the hypo, and then one to feed the back. Keep it all separate going.
Have you tried that solar wash from PureSeal? Have you seen it?
The solar panel wash?
Yeah.
No, it's max clean without the hydroxide.
Oh, I have no idea about chemicals.
Basically, it's non-caustic max clean pro, effectively.
Right. Okay. And will it do a better job than TFR?
It's just non-caustic. So Max Clean Pro is basically like a TFR without with a biocide in. So the Solar Clean Pro is just like a non-caustic TFR. It's not going to interrupt your solar panels.
Powerful non-caustic cleaner and degreaser with added biocide to boost cleaning performance.
Yeah.
So would you have to wear a mask with this?
Probably want to. You wouldn't want to handle it with that out gloves either.
PPE required: eye protection, disposable gloves, and overalls.
If you're atomizing any chemicals, wear a mask. Simple as that.
Even TFR?
I would.
I've never worn a mask TFR.
If you're atomizing it, so you're like effectively putting like through an X-jet, even your sprayers on your thing, if you're breathing that in, you're still getting it in your system. Yeah, okay, I don't wear a mask when I'm using TFR, but in theory you should.
Yeah.
You're still dealing with caustic chemicals and things.
Yeah,
everything's a health risk. Like at the end of the day,
really,
you should be wearing a mask when using bleach at home. But who does that? Who's cleaned their kitchen sink with a mask on?
Have you seen that? You should wear rubber gloves. I know this is probably a normal thing that everyone should probably know, but I didn't. That you should wear rubber gloves with using fairy liquid because it's not good for your skin.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Would you handle synergy without wearing gloves?
I have done.
Would you put your
It's all slippery.
Would you put your hands? Yeah. Would you put your hands purposely in some neat synergy?
No, probably not.
Because it's a stronger form of basically just going fairy liquid.
I've had it in my eye, which was painful.
Yeah.
So wear eye protection if you're using synergy.
But any chemicals, yeah.
Yeah. Adding 1 litre. Adding 1 litre of Synergy Clean Pro to your diluted mix of sodium hypochlorite significantly increases your performance of the hypo. I've seen this, but I swear that every time I see it, it's normally someone saying that my hypo bottle's gone like that.
Because they're mixing non-dilute to non-dilute. So you want to dilute your Synergy first, you want to dilute your hypo first, then you want to mix them together very slowly.
Right. I get you.
So hypo is basically chlorine gas bubbled through liquid sodium hydroxide, and that creates a fallout of table salt and hydroxide lysol, or something along those lines. I can't remember off the top of my head. So all you're doing is re-adding Synergy that contains sodium hydroxide back into the reaction, and that's why it kind of like bubbles massively and explodes. Like hypo is made from hydroxide.
I've never actually done it. I've never put Synergy in.
Yeah. If you're mixing things in this way, you should never really mix chemicals unless you know what you're doing. You want to make sure they're dilute. You want to make sure it's not in a closed container. You want to make sure obviously your mask stuff's on. I would personally not recommend it. I'm pretty sure that Pure Seal recommend it because they've tried and tested, but they know what they're doing. They know what to tell you, but at the same time, you just got to exercise caution, haven't you?
You done any training courses? I don't know if we spoke about that last time.
I've not done the Pure Seal ones. I've done some like online stuff, but a lot of my knowledge just comes from
Self-taught.
looking it up, common sense, self-teaching, do it properly, read the SDS sheets.
Yeah.
I probably should because I talk about it all the time. I always tell like new guys go and do a course when I haven't, which is kind of hypocritical. But the thing is, I will put time into learning about what I'm doing. I know exactly what's in each one of my chemical bottles. I've got the SDS sheets if I ever want to reference it. I know what I should be doing, safe handling. Just like anything, do you need a license to do anything? Like when it was invented, was there a license? No, it was just people learnt through caution over time.
I think the sealing one's something I need to do. If I'm going to continue to do sealing. I don't actually know if I'm going to continue to do it, to be honest. Like, there was like 3 times last year when like waking up at like 5:30 to go and seal patios and things. And it's also like could go horribly wrong, which is why I don't seal roofs as well. I get asked this probably once a month. Do you seal coat them or do you spray them afterwards and stuff? I'm like, no. Because ultimately, right, I actually don't know because I've not looked into it too much, but is it like the same way that if the roof is too hot, like the tile's too hot, the sealer won't set, and if it rains too quickly afterwards, you're buggered?
It's almost all the same stuff. All sealers are the same to an extent, whether it's roof, ground, whatever. They are temperature and moisture sensitive because most of them are like xylene based, or resin based.
So that would be the case then if you like had damp felt and stuff under the roofs and you didn't check properly and sealed it, you'd have issues, do you reckon?
You're applying the sealer to the that's the question. You're applying the sealer to the tiles. The tiles are directly touching the felt and there's wicking, then there's a chance. But yeah, if you're doing it there's a window of condition, isn't there? You want your moisture level of the tile or whatever surface you're doing to be less than 12%, 13%. Check that in a couple of spots with a moisture meter, get a good average reading. If any one of those readings are over the 12%, it's a no-go. And then you want your temperature to be less than 22 degrees C. Ideally, a lot less, so there's tolerance. So if it's 21 degrees and you're like, yeah, we can do it because it's 1 degree under, and then midday comes,
you're at
it's
the
going
maximum.
to heat right up. So that's your absolute limit temperature. So that's what you should estimate the day's going to get to at absolute tops. So if you know it's the middle of June during a heat wave, just don't bother. Like the 15 to 18 degree mark is a plenty safe margin because the day's not going to just go from 15, 18 to 30 just like that. It's like your ground's already going to be, your ground is going to heat up different to the air.
Yeah.
It's not air temperature as well.
Yeah, it's ground temperature, isn't it? I just feel like there's so many things that just go wrong with sealing.
Yeah.
And it's quite expensive. And like I say, it's just another thing that it's like one of those things that all it takes is one mishap and you've got an insurance claim.
like liability waivers, giving yourself all the information to give to the client on paper, write it, cover
Mm.
yourself,
Mm.
explain these are the risks, this is what happens, get them to sign. That means they're happy to proceed.
Yeah.
I actually quoted a roof. I quoted it last year, and then they came back recently and say they want to go for it potentially. So I've done my full inspection again, and we've got some issues this time. There's a massive hole in the corner next to the gable, which is letting light through in water. There's felt down all over the place, and I'm like, either sort this out or sign a liability, water ingress, and it basically just releases me of all problems. If they want to go ahead and have it washed, like there's no wet on the felt, the tiles are dry on the backside, like the tiles are doing their job. It's just the felt's down, but you know what happens? Conical cone water splashes up, ingress comes in, 300 mil of water through the thing, just come down into
Mm.
like their ceiling. They if they want to go ahead, they have to sign a
Yeah.
release.
I've started to use the drone a
Cancel
lot
this,
more.
but
That's what I started to do.
yeah, it's always good.
Because before it was always just like, yeah, it looks good, just do it. Whereas now I'm taking a bit more care. But I'm also not at the point where I'm not going into loss. I'm still mostly. Do you know what I've been doing? Right, this may sound like complete bananas. I've basically been getting a call or like a quote or form or whatever, and then getting in touch with them, telling them to send me the address. I'd take a look on Google Earth and I'd send them like a really rough estimate. So if it's like I can quickly measure the square meters or whatever on Google Earth, send that over to them, whatever. And then I'm like, right, if you wanted to proceed, I'll stop by, I'll do a drone inspection, I'll look at access and things like that, and we can get a confirmed price. But it just saves me that half an hour drive of messing about, and they're like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's like 500 quid more than what I expected. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, have your range. Have like this is the minimum based on perfect conditions. This is the maximum.
Mm.
Turn up with a printed bit of paper with tick boxes and do the inspection with them present.
Yeah, yeah.
They know you're not trying to just like jack it up by 500 because you can tell the customer, okay, there's a problem. I've got this written down. This is what I think. Do you agree? They say yes. They say no. You ask them why they think no, and then you set them straight if they're on the right path. Tick
Yeah,
the right box, and then is it a pass or a fail?
yeah, yeah. I've actually printed off your sheet you sent me of your inspection.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it, I think, on them roofs. I haven't really come across a roof yet that I'm like a bit worried about. Do you know what I mean? They're all pretty much okay, but the ones with like the slight pointing missing and stuff like that, I think then I'm gonna just stick my logo over the top if that's alright with you, and just go and do it.
So that.
Because
Like, if you've got that paperwork to back any job, like the reason why I do it with every single roof clean is because if there ever was an insurance claim, it's proven that I've gone out, I've done all my checks, I've marked all this stuff down, and something that's gone wrong on the day is just something that's not possible to foresee. Because you don't know if a tile is cracked underneath a thing of moss, like a row of moss is caked. All it takes is for that to blow apart. Like you may have seen Sid's video recently where the tile shot off. It takes a second for a tile to crack, expose the felt underneath, damage the felt, water goes inside, and the customer goes, now there's water inside. It's done no damage, but your high pressure water, or should be low pressure water, has gone through their felt, causing damage, which was not existent. And they'll just be like, insurance, please. And then the insurance people come out and be like, what liability did you do? And you go, well, I just looked at it. And they're like, not good enough.
I had a
The
few tiles
insurance
breaking the other day.
person's, if the insurance person's coming out, they've got paperwork and they make note, tick stuff down. It's not left to, you want to treat it like you want to do your liable check, make sure the customer's happy, put down all the risks and things, get them to sign a little liability waiver. Anything went wrong, then, they call the insurance or you call your insurance. The insurance man comes out, you go, this was my checks, this was the liability, customer signed it, boom. It's on the customer then.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely something I'm going to do. So like I say, with the roofs that I think they've got, it might not be an issue, but just to make sure, do you know what I mean? But most ones I've been getting at the minute, like, they are fairly new. They're like within 30 years. They look fine. The drone, I can't find anything wrong with them. So at that point, I'm just like, it should be okay. Obviously, I'll let them know there's a chance. There's always a chance.
Yeah.
And they're
As
like,
long as that's in writing, like that's all that matters. Make sure it's in writing.
yeah.
Anything you say that's a chance or a risk or anything like that, just put it in writing in a format they can't delete. Do it by email because they can delete a WhatsApp message. They can delete a WhatsApp message chain, for example, and then you've lost all your communication with them, especially if they block you and it gets deleted. So that's why I do everything in email and in paper because it's easier. Keep that paper trail.
Sorry, someone called Mark has said I've messaged you, Liam, but you deleted my message. What on, mate? Sorry. I don't really think I've got the power to delete anyone's message. Don't know. Let us know. Paul's exterior cleaning says, do you do the same checks for roof scrapes?
I do the same check. I go into a job expecting to pressure wash it. And then if I'm going to scrape a job, it's because it's unsuitable for pressure washing. So indirectly, yes, I do the same checks. I would rather wash a roof than scrape a roof. I just hate scraping roofs. I can't be bothered. It's a pain in the ass. The result isn't as epic on the day. So, yeah, I'd rather wash it. So indirectly.
Yeah.
If you are purely scraping roofs and you're doing it as your main part of roof cleaning, develop some kind of check. Let yourself like, we did a roof scrape last year, and the tiles were very slightly loose. So when you're scraping on the top of them, the tiles are doing this,
Pulling
and
them.
a couple of them ended being pushed up just a little bit, and you can see the distinct the line that gets left because like the skin is scratched off. They were pushed up, and the customer wasn't happy. He was like, "You pushed our tiles up," and it's like, "We didn't count for that. We didn't have any paperwork." Me and Dan ended up going back from his dormer at the top with the pole, trying to like grip hold of them and push them back down. The roof was too steep to climb on. The tiles weren't really suitable to climb on in the first place. There was no harnessing points. If we had to put a tower up, we would have to climb on the roof anyway. It would just broke tiles, and it's like we eventually, after a long struggle and some very choice words, managed to get them back in line to the point the customer was happy. But it involved going back like twice across 2 days to try and solve, and it's like that's 2 days, like 2 good afternoons. We've just tried to get 3 tiles back down 3 inches.
They were nightmares, weren't they? What tiles were they?
They were Marley Ludlow Plus.
Oh,
so yeah, they're flat top, like the round ones, but they're flat on the top.
Oh, okay, yeah. You've got nowhere to grip them.
Yeah, there's no way to grip them.
Yeah.
And once they're pushed up, that's it. So it's like now in anything that we go forward in a scrape, we would tell the customer and put it in writing, like there's a chance your tiles could move. We're not going to push them up to the point they're lost or not overlapping anymore, but there could be some movement. And they have to accept that because we can't go back and waste 2 afternoons because of like 2 inches of tile being exposed. It wasn't quite in a line. I get it. You want to leave the roof in the same way. The client expects you to, like, I fully got his position on it. And it's totally fine. As the service provider, I want to meet their expectations. And, they were happy at the end of that. But it did cost us 2 days for 2 people to try and resolve just that little minor thing. So it's like, have some liability against it.
Yeah. I hate roof scrapes.
Yeah. I just don't want to do them.
Did you see as well that Jack Bowley said that a customer wasn't happy with the colour their roof was after it had been cleaned?
Yep.
Like what?
I've started writing that into my liability now.
Like that is so like stupid, isn't it? Like really.
Yeah, because people might have bought the house and the tiles are brown, not realising it's brown grime, and they could be like red terracotta or something, like an orangey. They're like, oh, I don't like that. That's not the tiles we're used to. But it's like they don't understand when you clean something, it gets cleaner.
Yeah. I reckon if someone said that to me, I'd be like, I don't actually know what I do. I'd be like, I'll probably laugh, I reckon. Yeah. I actually probably would laugh. Be like, right then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So ever since I heard that, I never thought about it. Ever since I saw that podcast with you and him, it's like any roof wash now, I just tell them there could be a colour change. Yeah. And we're not liable for that. and it gets written into the end of the quote.
Mm. That's
Because
nuts,
it's
isn't it? What
like,
would
yeah,
you
I don't
what
want.
do you reckon insurance actually do when they hear that?
Well, what can they do? You've agreed to clean the roof. The client isn't happy with your service. The insurance are likely going to want to resolve it, so they'll side with the client in a sense. But they also might think it's stupid. But at the end of the day, the
Mm.
client has taken your. Yeah, it's a very tricky one. I don't know how they'd handle it. But chances are they'll probably side with the client.
Mm.
Um,
It's nuts, that, isn't
which
it?
is why which is why I do all my paperwork, get all the I's dotted
Yeah,
and
but
T's
even
crossed.
like block paving, imagine that, like it's grey and it comes out like red and cream or
Yep.
some, yeah, red and yellow, and they're like, don't like that, and I'm like,
Mm.
what do you mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that would piss me off. I think. Hopefully, none of my customers
Yeah.
are listening.
The thing is, you also have people that will try and use a service fully knowing they might go like, I don't want this block paving. I know it's red underneath, but it's like muddy, brown, horrible now.
Mm.
Get someone to clean it, and then try and claim on their insurance for a brand new block paving. Because people do that. They use trays to try and pull
Mm.
insurance, um, and just claim ignorance. So it's another
Yeah.
thing. That's another reason why I like paperwork. Like paperwork is, if you're running a business, and you're trying to push that business as a proper service, do your paperwork. There's a
Yeah. Yeah.
reason why the big corporations, big companies that are raking in God knows how much have so much paperwork hurdle, because through their experience from being like a tiny entity to getting to that stage, they have learned that all this stuff is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, they're just going to get sued left, right, and center. Um,
Sorry, I'm just changing camera.
yeah, no, good.
Um. Yeah. I
And
mean.
it sounds stupid. Like a lot of people question me and go, "Why are you getting up in a loft space? That takes time." And it's like, yeah, it takes time. It takes me 15 extra minutes on a quote. But also, if I have done that and they get two other quotes and none of them get in the loft, they're going to think, well, what have they checked?
Mm.
I've won most of my roof quotes. I won one last week actually. We quoted her a month ago, and then about a week ago. No, was it a week ago? Was it sometime recently? They've got back in touch and wanted to accept the quote.
Mm.
Um, and we weren't the cheapest. We were probably the most expensive, but they've taken us on because the
Very
exact words
thorough.
were, "You checked the loft." The other company said we don't need to do that, and it's like all you need to do is poke your head up. Is there light? No. Is there mold? No. Is there a
Mm.
damp smell? No. Can you? Is there any obvious vents, skylights, things like that could be a problem? No. Great. Tick the boxes. Head back out. Done.
Mm.
All it takes is that extra 10 minutes, and you could be winning the highest price quote you put in.
Mm.
It's all for show at the end of the day. Yes, it protects me on insurance, but it's also a show to the customer. Like, this is the care we are taking with the property. You're about to spend a lot of money having this done. We want to take the most care. Here's your paperwork. Here's your records. Done.
Mm.
And knowing, like, being told we are winning the quote is the highest price, just because of that, reinforces that I should be
It's
doing it on every
worthwhile.
single one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
And
absolutely.
people like there's a lot of people that will skip things going, I haven't got time for that. It's like you don't realize that all it takes now is for us to do a good job on that roof, and then they tell three of their friends. We go to all three houses, pop a head in the loft, do exactly what we did for the same person, and then win three more.
Mm.
That 15 minutes can really, really push your business.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Like you with the drone, that's great. That's a big show. Imagine like someone else turning up and they're just like visually looking at it, like they can't quite see the pitch. Yeah, it's fine, mate. But you've put a drone up, and you've gone, there's a cracked tile. This might be a problem. Look at the amount of like flashing that is damaged here. And then here's my quote,
Mm.
because you've done it properly. And then someone's going to trust that, aren't they?
I think this is a bit of a thing as well, where I know it's not a huge thing, but I always like have like videos. I always make like basically every job I do, I have a video and a GoPro video on my phone, and I can always like I have now a portfolio that I can show pretty much any type of roof, any customer, what that tile is clean like and what it's going to look like roughly. Whether it's
Yeah,
it might be red and there's a yellow or grey or something like that, but I've cleaned those tiles before, and you can see that it's either on YouTube or I've got a video I can send to you on my phone.
exactly.
And I think that wins me a bit more work. I think I kind of have like a slight edge on local people in that sense.
Yeah.
Um,
You've got to use every resource you can to win a customer.
mm,
Because imagine you like right now, and you've got £1,000 in your hand to give to someone for a service. What is going to make you give a particular service that money? What's going to make someone stand out so you give them that money?
mm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. All the little things that go on, like all the minor details, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about giving like a little thing at the end of a job as well, like a little water bottle or something like that. Like it's got to be something that everyone's going to use. So like a water bottle with like the logo on it, or like a coffee travel mug. Or
what benefit is that going to have to your business?
Do you know?
Because it's a big outgoing to give to a customer for free after they've done a service.
I know exactly what you mean. Do you know them? I know it's going to sound really dumb. But do you know them toilet rolls that have like on the underside and the brown bit, and it says something like, I don't know what it says. It's something stupid, like some weird slogan and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's like the reminder of that company all the time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so that if someone's had their patio done, and then they see me on Facebook and they're like, I've done someone's roof or I've done something else. Like, oh, actually, we've used the company before, and I've seen my water bottle every day. Just use them again. It's like a little reminder. Do you know when people like forget what business they used last time?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Like give them the business card.
Yeah.
It might get thrown away. But it's a lot cheaper. Like, yeah, our industry's quite funny because you clean something once and then that's clean probably for the rest of the year. So are they really going to remember you? Even if you gave them a water bottle, like that might just go, I don't use that, I'll throw it out. It's like,
but in bulk, I think 200 worked out to be like £1.30 each. So it's not too bad.
It could be a good investment. Like £1.30 to potentially win something is, not a bad investment.
No.
I'm looking at getting brochures made up. So at the end of each job, it's going to have I can have various different services. So like tarmac reseeding and recolouring, block paving, reseeding, recolouring, whatever, timber restoration. But I'm going to have 4 or 5 different types made up with combinations. And then once I finish a job with someone, I'll be like, they've got this surface, that surface, that surface, it's this brochure. Hand it to them with their invoice. Or hand it to them at the end of the job, just saying, if you want anything else, here's the other services we do. And it targets that customer.
Do you reckon you could ever do something like Argos catalogue style before you do a job? So you'd have a dedicated, not like a thesaurus size, but do you know what I mean? Like where you'd have headings and you'd have patios, driveways, roofs, solar panels, before and afters, and you'd be certain from. Yeah.
If you're already in front of the customer giving them a quote and talking to them about stuff, that's when you give it to them. They're not dead droppable through letterboxes because that's just
so much money
that day and age. Your social media, Facebook, Google page, whatever is your brochure at the end of the day. If you're doing a quote, basically if you're going to do that, tailor it to a certain set of services you really want to push, hand it to them. And then they've got something to read or stick in, wherever they want. Other people can see that visit them. It's not a bad idea. Companies do that. I'm trying to think of examples, but
farm foods.
Yeah.
Domino's takeaways.
But effectively, you get you get flyers through the thing, but they will give you they'll follow you up with advertising stuff or push notification on the app. Sometimes the pizza boxes come with tags and stapled on flyers and things like that for new product promotion things. It's all the big companies that are really, really spending tons on advertising, just take their tactics and use it. We all know that one franchised gutter company in the UK that puts a certain handwritten looking note through the letterbox. We got a lot of people in Discord doing that for their services, and it's working because it's tried and tested.
I think it's incredible. If I ever met the guy, if I ever met Ben, I'd be like, "You're a genius." I can't lie.
Apparently, there is no Ben.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get that, but
yeah.
If there is a Ben, if you're out there and you are one of the however many people watching,
Yeah.
I'd like to meet you and have a chat. How many leaflets was it they do a year?
Sorry?
How many
How many-
leaflets did they do a year? It was something mad, wasn't it?
They must do hundreds of thousands easily.
Yeah.
They're all over the UK, aren't they?
It's like the only thing they do, though, isn't it? The only advertising.
Mhm.
It's nuts,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But they're UK wide in their franchise, so it works.
Mm.
And that's why it's powerful.
Mm. I remember we spoke about franchising, didn't we?
Mm. Yeah. Be an
Mm.
interesting endeavour. You'd have to get it right. The thing that I'd worry about is like, if I want people working for me, I want them to shadow me on every aspect of the job. Like, I want them to be there at the quoting stage. I want them to be there at any inspection. I want them to be there any disputes following a job that may arise, hopefully never, whatever. I want them to be on every single job that I'm doing and basically cloning myself in that person.
Mm.
Because if I'm going to hand over the reins to someone to go off in their own van, they have to do exactly what I want. And they need to be armed with the exact knowledge of like, okay, this situation's arisen. How would Matt handle this? And they'll know. So I'd want someone to shadow me for like 3 years or so,
Mm.
on every single job, because I'm like, I want a specific way of doing this.
Mm.
Because the other thing is, you don't want someone else to be the reason you get less than a 5-star review on Google.
Yeah, it would be annoying, wouldn't it?
And that's the thing. If your employee did that, and it's like, I've just spent all this time building up 5-star reviews, and someone has just like gone in and messed that up, that would really like upset me.
Mm.
I'd be very pissed off.
Yeah, that would be annoying, wouldn't it? Like the first
It's
job
like-
as well, something like that. You did them by himself.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, they need to know all the ins and outs. Absolutely everything.
Mm.
That's where I guess going back to you and wanting to employ someone. This is where I was coming at earlier. Like, you want to train someone up at ASAP, get them on the jobs with you. It's like, do you want them on a separate tower even after 6 months, even though they're opposite you? Don't you just want a double tower so you can see everything they're doing? Like, you don't have to be that annoying boss that's breathing down their shoulder telling them how to do every little bit, but it's like, you can see that they're progressing. Hand them the reins, but make sure you're in shot.
But
It's not always that feasible, but
I know what you mean, and yeah, that'd probably be an option, like to train them up. But at some point, like, I know that I used to get really annoyed with it because we used to have like some annoying boss that used to always hover over me and Tom, who used to work together, and we always used to like do much more and to a much higher standard if we were just left alone to do our thing.
yeah,
And because that's like one of the only job I've done before this, I now know that I will never like want to be that guy that's gonna like check up on them all the time. But it's like it's more annoying than what it is. Like, I used to find it more annoying. Like, it used to bug me. Like anything, I'd just be like, mate, go away. But I wouldn't say that. I'd just be like, yeah, well, you know. And
we only see a snippet of it from what goes out on social media and stuff. But I think Jake Smout is a very prime example of a good manager, a good leader, and what he does with Jakey. Like, he gives Jakey the responsibility, like, go and seal this tarmac, but he'll kind of be there filming it, you know, and they're making content, but he's still there watching over, giving pointers, but letting him figure it out.
yeah.
And it's like, that's the kind of leadership that I think everybody should be giving, because they're letting someone experience the jobs. They're getting the freedom to do it without that, like, going to take it off you the moment you do it wrong, or kind of, no, don't do it like that, do it like this. It's like, no, they're working it out, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do it together, kind of thing. But you've got the full ownership of the job.
I think it will just be a bit of a
tools.
journey, and I think it will be like this thing I can map out now, which probably won't go to plan. Like we said about goals earlier, it'll probably change, and it'll probably end up being like a year or so until that 6 months I said about will happen.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. This is what I was saying. I was like literally Monday night. I was up to one. I did a roof up to 1 a.m. Got up at 6 again to go and do it all again. I literally spent from like 11:15 until like 1 in my head, just like, mate, what am I actually doing? Like, I actually have no idea what I'm trying to do. I'm just winging it and doing whatever I can.
Like, the thing is, you're also in that position where you've just put out 16,000 leaflets, and you've just got all this rush of work on, especially at the prime time of like the year when people are thinking about it. and you're kind of juggling that influx plus your usual influx plus new inquiries naturally and organically from posting about those jobs. And it's like you're probably feeling the pressure. But what I worry about is what happens when September and October comes and you've rushed into all these things and it's kind of like it dies down. Where do you stand? And then maybe you go, I don't want to do these roofs.
Yeah. I think this was another thing, because obviously, like, you speak to like people close to you, don't you, and things. And I was like, because I don't have a mortgage to pay or any kids and things, I can just put the £2,000 a month that I'd pay myself into advertising. If I've got no work for the person, I can go out and put 20,000 leaflets, which I know will work, and be like, right, that's going to
it
work.
works at the beginning of a year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Like, I have an idea of what will work. You know, if I pump.
Yeah, of course.
This is another thing as well. Like, I've started to try and work out my figures in terms of Google ad return and things like this. So I know that if I up my spend by £10 a day, I know that I should receive X amount back. And
yeah,
I've started to track sales as well, which means that if I send a quote off, and then they have an excuse, like, I speak to the husband, or I'm going to wait till winter, I'm going to wait till spring. All of these things, they get put into a pile. And then if it says the husband, I'll check back in 2 days and give him a call. So I'll basically will know how much is being sold a week, how much is being completed a week, how much my ads is doing. So I know all the figures that come in. And I think that will be a huge help when those dry periods eventually come, and I can be like, right, I'm out of work, what works? And I can go back through and be like, right, this month we did this, what advertising do we spend, where do we spend it, what locations were we targeting? And be like, boom.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
You need to try and test that in the winter to see if it still works, because the lead up to Christmas is always tight and stressful for a lot of people. So you need to know if that return can feed two people over the effectively quiet period we have.
It's another thing as well, is that I was thinking about putting like Jake has with Jakey, about like the maximum 30 hours, the minimum 30 hours thing. Because ultimately 30 hours a week, let's say minimum wage is what was it, like £12 something now? Obviously I'm probably going to pay percentages in terms of roofs and things like that if we're going to go, do an actual roof together. But you can kind of manage. You'll know as soon as they do a full week, you'll kind of know how much roughly you're going to spend a week. And as long as you close like double that, you should be okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my theory. But I feel like I'm just going to wing it and see if it works.
I think your best thing to do is spend the 200 quid or whatever for a consultant with, sit down with a financial manager or an accountant or something. Just do the hours consultation and then say, figure this out. Can I sustain me, someone else, business growth, have all the potential things like van breaking down, having to get a new one on hire purchase or something like that. Like, have that all laid down as like a financial goal. Can you afford all this before taking someone on? Because the last thing you want is your business to crumple because you've spent all your budget on an employee that you now have to lay off. Which means time and effort invested, it does the exact thing that you don't want to happen. So if you've got like a financial plan and a financial goal behind you, and it's all backed by like
real figures,
hypotheticals, projections, real figures, things like that, it'll really benefit you.
That's the only thing that I can't work out is the what do you call it, like expected cash something. So you can expect something
like projection,
yeah. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. But it's the only thing I can't work out. But I'm trying, like I say, I probably will end up doing that when I come back from Egypt. But
were you going to go and clean the pyramids?
I wish that. What a video that would be.
Yeah.
I might actually do one. I might take the GoPro with me, do a little vlog, and be like, I clean the pyramids and lick my finger and just wipe.
Just green screen yourself in with a waterbed pole.
That'd be 100 million view Mr. Beast, I reckon.
Yeah.
No, definitely wouldn't. But
but if you want to grow it, do it properly. Spend some cash up front. Get some proper advice. Get your data on paper to support. Can I do this?
I
Because
thought,
yeah, it sounds great having an employee to do stuff, but the amount they're going to cost you, you
mm,
may be paying them £12, but they're costing you £25 an
I've
hour.
I've thought about getting a mentor. Um, for like that kind of thing. Obviously, just minus the figures, which I have an accountant. But the thing is that I want to like mentorship is like I don't really know, to be honest. That's the thing.
Hmm.
I would just want it.
I think the tricky thing, and I don't know how to say this without sounding insulting. It's not meant to be. It's like, what, you're 21,
Yeah, yeah.
so you don't have the working
No.
life experience of other jobs, other positions, like anything.
Yeah, yeah,
So you've got all these like aspirations and goals, which is amazing at 21, and keep going. But
yeah,
I think like there's a lot of things you don't quite understand because you haven't experienced them.
yeah, yeah,
So thinking taking someone on without, just jumping into it could backfire for you long
mm,
term. So
yeah.
getting like a mentor would be perfect because it's like, yeah, it's going to cost you, but it's going to save you from accidents in the long run,
Mhm.
and bad choices. Like you'll have someone experienced backing you, and you can be like, "This is my idea. This is what I need," and they won't say yes or no. They'll be like, "Okay, well, we do this, and this is your target. This is now your goal, your ever-changing goal to meet that to be able to do it."
Mhm.
And I think that will be really helpful for you because yeah, you're getting the work in, you're running your own business, and you're kind of like you say, you've said it in your own words, you're winging it.
Mhm.
And I think you need to stop winging it, but I don't think you know how to do that.
Yeah, this is why I haven't already taken someone on.
Yeah.
But
And it's like you've gone from wanting to take someone on to not taking someone on to like wanting to push YouTube to not
yeah,
now calm the stuff down. It's like you haven't really figured out where you want to be.
this is the thing. I'm just trying everything and then getting too much, doing too
Yeah.
much, and reaching this.
Do you like throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks
Yeah,
with the
absolutely. Yeah.
analogy? It's like there's nothing wrong with that because you're still experimenting with what you want to do. And if you don't experiment like that, then you're not going to know what you want to do. You might have just done all these roofs and gone, I never want to roof clean again, and then you stop roof cleaning
Mm,
and you pass those on to your mate, and
mm,
that's completely fine.
mm,
And it's yeah, I think you need to figure that out. But having someone that can help you kind of project your business would be really beneficial for you
mm,
because you're in the perfect position to do that. You can take chances and risks. You've got work coming in to fund things. Like you say, you haven't got huge outgoings at home, so you've got like a marketing budget you can
mm.
experiment with. I think you should really utilize that, make that kind of like a focus priority.
Yeah, yeah,
Like give yourself one day a week where that day is making goals, making plans, having a session with a mentor, whatever you decide to go down the route of. Have like a weekly check in with yourself. Like this is the direction. Are we on target from last week? Yes, great. Okay, what's next? No. Okay, well, what made us not be on target? Was there like an ever changing goal that we have to add to this? So
mm,
I
mm,
think yeah, you've got the drive to do it. That's the thing. Like we can see that clearly you want to do this. You want to make it work. You're driven. You're business oriented. You want to
yeah.
you want to turn LRS into something like impactful. So yeah, utilize resources around you to make that.
I do think mentorship is like a good thing, no matter what. Anyway, even if you're doing fine.
Mm.
Um, like I say, I've just spent the last few days literally just trying to work everything out.
Yeah,
And this is the thing, right? Every so often, I just need this little like punch in the face or something like that. Just be like, mate, you're doing something. Not like you're doing something wrong, but you like, mate, last week you were like, this is your goal, and now all of a sudden, what are you on about? And then it will be like, actually, yeah, you're completely right. I just need like, someone to like keep me in lane.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
because you don't you're trying to run a business without business experience, which is absolutely fine.
Mm.
But because you don't have that experience of being in like a long term job or industry like that, how long have you done LRS now? Is this like year two, year three?
This is year 2.
Year two,
Yeah.
so 19 you started.
Mhm.
So before that you worked on a farm, I believe.
Yeah.
So you've got experience from that. That's great. But
Mm.
yeah, you're in a boss management position where you have to make a lot of choices and that comes with a lot of responsibility.
Mm.
And you're obviously facing that right now. So
Yeah.
you know how balls deep you are in this. You've got to get it right. So having someone to be able to like mentor
Mm.
beneficial because you could make LRS something huge
Mm.
within a year.
Yeah.
You're already doing big things now. Why can't you have that staff member in a year's time? Why can't you have 2 people in 2 years' time?
Mm.
Um,
Yeah. There's definitely something I'm going to look into. I just need to find the right person, that's all. But obviously that's going
yeah,
to take a little while. Also, it's like, do you, like, nearby, like, location-wise, or is it all over Zoom and stuff like that? I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, even, like, all these little... I'm going to try and get involved in a few more coffee meetings as well. Not BNI, because I've done that, and it's too far away. I want to be one that's, like, 5 minutes from home. Go and
yeah,
just chat to people.
yeah. You just want people that are running businesses. They don't have to be within your industry because you can take ideas from other industries and incorporate it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I reference like I make jokes about like McDonald's advertising and the way they do things, and I'm actually looking at like how Amazon did things to grow, how McDonald's did things to grow because they are tried and tested,
Mm.
and a lot of their methods are transferable. You've just got to kind of adapt it to fit what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like use tried and tested methods. Look at big corporations, big companies, look at their story, kind of like research what they did to get to where they are now, and utilize that because that tried and tested resource is the most valuable thing,
Mm.
and the information's there. It's free information.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do like the
It,
McDonald's chat.
yeah, it's like what is it? The Dragon's Den thing where they go and say like, how did the dragons become who they
Mm.
are, and they'll go through like it's a 45-minute thing. Go and watch a couple of those. There's nothing to do with our industry, but you kind of get to hear their story of they had nothing, this was happening, they tried this, they got into this, and then they'll talk about how they made that work. And it's like you could make your business work by taking on some of those tips.
Do you watch Diary of a
It's
CEO?
transferable. No, I haven't.
No.
He does a podcast, doesn't he? I've got
Yeah.
it lined up on the on my ever listing queue now. Q net
Do you listen to
playlist.
James Sinclair one?
Nope.
No. I find Joe Rogan to be my number one, just because it's all like different and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just find it
Something
interesting.
interesting every time.
Yeah, and then like I say, Ryan and Dan, and then Stephen Bartlett, like I say, and then James Sinclair. I try and like get through all those in a week probably.
Yeah.
But James Sinclair is cool because he will like get someone on that's like at any point in their business life and tell them what to do next. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it, like a few people on there from this industry have been on there, and he's like, I'm at £5,000 a month now. How do I get to my next thing? And he's like, he'll tell them exactly like how it is as well. Do you know what I mean? That's what I like about it anyway.
And that's the thing, like, at the end of the day, business is business. No, it's a cliche thing to say, but it all starts with you doing something, giving someone with money a reason to spend it with you, and then growing a business to do that more. That's all it is.
Yeah.
All you're doing is you're trading something that you can do for someone to give you money, and then you have to work out how to convince more and more and more and more and more people in a batch to do the same thing. Boom, you're Jeff Bezos. You know, at the end of it's the industry doesn't matter. It's the skills to do it. Yes, there's going to be some like industry specific things and that for every industry, but yeah, you can take on anything. You could basically copy what McDonald's done and just go, right, I'll do that for exterior cleaning, and it'll work.
It's interesting, isn't it? I love the business
Yeah.
chat. It's interesting because no matter what, like everything always means something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who was it that I was speaking to? Can't remember, but they literally do Facebook ads, right? I think it's landscaping. They literally do Facebook ads of like pictures of like, do you know the daily posts you do of like jobs? Literally do Facebook ads of pictures, and that's it. But they pump like 50 quid a day into it, and they literally get like 4 or 5 jobs in a day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they'll book 4 or 5 jobs in a day, and I was like mate, that's crazy. But it's just I'm a bit scared to do that. I can't lie. I'm a bit scared to like start lumping like literally lumping money into like advertising and not getting anything back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all a risk.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, then you got to think of money you earn and money you don't earn is still a spending in a business.
Mm.
If you're not earning it, you're spending it. If you are spending it to earn it, then you're still spending it.
Mm.
Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. Like, money not spent is money lost, as
Mm.
well as money spent and lost is lost.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not trying the marketing, then it's not doing it, is it?
Did you get your Google ads running yet?
Nope, I'm still needing to do that. I got a huge influx. Like, I'd sent out a ton of emails to previous clients over the winter. I sent a ton of emails to new prospective clients, try and get them interested, and then all of a sudden, like, everything's blown up. My email inbox is like 10 a day, wanting things. But it's like I haven't had the chance to sit down and go, right, I need to put Google Ads on because I don't even think I could cope with another influx. I'm playing Diary Tetris. I've got things booked in July, things in June, things in May. March is pretty much fully booked now. I've got like 3 spaces left, and those 3 spaces have gone to 3 different clients to say, I'm free on this day, do you want it?
Mm-hmm.
So all the way up to the middle of April, I think the 16th of April is the next free day that I have for those. So it's like, yeah, I should really be on the Google Ads so I can start booking people in for later in the year, but also want to get the timing right. I want to make sure that I'm not going to have more influx because I sent loads of emails out and they're slowly coming in, trickling each day.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, I've already got this. Once that trickle gets to a point where it's like, okay, I've only had like 10 people in a week, that's when I go, right, turn the ads on. Because you can overdo it. If you start doing huge marketing pushes now and then you tell people it's not till August, they're going to be like, well, I want it for the summer, which is no good. You end up spending money to tell people that you can't do it for them.
Yeah, it's annoying. I've just taken gutter clearing out of my ads
Yeah.
because it's not really the season for it anymore. So I've just put on patios and driveways, but obviously it's got to now learn all of the strategy again for patios and driveways, which is going to take a bit of time.
Yeah.
But the
But
ruse
you
is
write that
staying.
down and you got it for next year.
Yeah, well, once you've done it once, you can keep it. So you can like
Yeah.
save it as like a template or like a setting or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, because of the last year, I didn't really know what I was doing. I would just pumped every single service into one ad, and it was just like, whatever happens, I'm going to get something. Do you know what I mean? So like window cleaning and stuff. I was spending loads on window cleaning when I didn't even want to do it and things like that. So I've now separated them all into sections. But
yeah, I mean, you could put roof cleaning and gutter clearing on the same ad because they go hand in hand. Like, that wouldn't hurt.
yeah,
You're still advertising both. Gutter clearing near me. Oh, roof cleaning. Oh, roof cleaning is an option to stop a gutters get full. So
works in both ways, isn't it?
yeah. Or like, people might not be able to afford the roof clean. They might think you're 200 quid when it's a grand's worth of work, and they're like, oh, I just clear the gutters for that then. So it's like, yeah, pairing the right thing.
Yeah.
I think ads are an interesting thing. I look at our services effectively like a fast food menu. Like, you could say pressure washing, and that's the same as having burgers. But then you've got pressure washing limestone, pressure washing sandstone, it's like cheeseburger, bacon. Double cheese. Like, it's all those. If you can split it, like, have that kind of level of menu, then you're gonna win a lot more work. But that comes at a bigger work. If you think about, again, McDonald's analogy, they'll put their Big Mac advert on TV for 6 weeks. Every ad break on every channel, on everything, will be that one burger, and we all know the Big Mac exists, and they've just pumped in like 3 million for that campaign to sell more Big Macs because they can, and it works.
Yeah.
But then you've got like the chicken wraps and the fish fillets and things like that. I was about to call it a fish fillet then. The meme. Yeah, the fish fillets and they do an ad for absolutely everything, and they pump tons of money into it because it works. So I think, yeah, if you keep all your services, you're still capturing large audiences.
Hmm.
Um, there's no harm in running a gutter ad and then booking for someone for later in the year. Say, like, you may not need it now, but let's get you in for October.
The only thing
Yeah, you
is,
might have just spent the click, but
that's the thing. See, it's spending my, but if I offer roofs, gutters, and patios and driveways, my spend is probably going to be spent by midday.
yeah.
So from midday onwards, I'm not going to be showing up anywhere. So that's the
Yeah,
thing. Unless
but
I up the budget.
you've captured your audience until midday
Yeah.
and hopefully converted leads. Those leads can then pay to you going until 2 p.m.
Hmm.
next week and
Hmm.
then 3 p.m. the week after that and build it gradually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, like a lot of people try and target, oh, I want to spend this much a day and then try and leave it running all day. And yes, that is optimal, but if you've only got a small budget, just work with what you.
Hmm.
If you're one client that converts for your £10 ad,
Happy
bargain.
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spend 20 quid the next day.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. I think I'm going to jump off only because I just need to chill out a little bit before tomorrow. I've literally got this huge roof again tomorrow.
I've got 3 quotes to do.
Oh, what, tonight?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Sorry, I've probably
Yeah.
inconvenienced you a little
No,
bit.
no, no, it's fine. I needed the break. I've been on the go. It
Yeah.
took me I won a big porcelain repoint and it took me ages to write
Oh,
it all
really?
out yesterday. So I wanted to get it right. They've had some rogue traders in the past. I'm like, I want to prove who I am, tell them exactly what the process is, what to expect. So it was like 3 pages.
Mm.
It didn't need to be, but I was like,
Let's
if
get
I
it right.
don't do this, yeah, I'm not going to win it
Mm.
because it's like a porcelain patio repoint is quite an undertaking.
Yeah. I've never actually seen one done before, to be fair. A repoint in porcelain.
Yeah, it's the same process. You
Yeah.
just got to hope you don't chip the
The
porcelain on
stone.
the grind
Yeah.
out.
It's quite thin, isn't it, as
That's
well, the joints?
Yeah, they can be 8 mil, 10 mil, some places 6 mil.
Mm.
I think these were like average 8, so I'm going with a 6 mil rake.
Mm. All right, then,
Yeah,
mate. Cool. Well, thank you for joining us. It's been good to chat.
that's quickly. Mills has just put a good question in.
Oh, sorry, I've just been logged out of my. I've got a
Uh,
password on my Google for some reason.
have you seen the ads for Klarna style payments for your customers? Gives the customers an option for credit. I didn't know that was a thing for. I know that you can get that, but
I've never used
um,
Klarna.
yeah, me either.
I know it's like some kind of credit in
I
pay
think
in
they
3 or something, isn't it?
paying 3 or 4 or something. So your 120 quid is paying 3 lots of 40 over 3 months.
Mm.
Klarna pay you direct, and then they have to pay back Klarna. I never thought about doing that for a service, but at the same time, for me personally, if the customer is not able to pay and they have to split, it makes me worried. Should they be spending this on the exterior cleaning?
Yeah,
Like,
it kind of shows signs of
yeah,
something, doesn't it?
I've always thought this industry are people with the disposable money after they've got everything else sorted. Like
Mm.
their bills are paid, their insides are good. They're like, I've got a bit of extra cash to spend. Let's get the drive cleaned or let's get the roof done.
It's like us or holiday, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's literally what it is
Mm.
like. And I think that's where the cheap 50 quid driveway guys win because they're like, we can make it an affordable option,
Mm.
but then they give them there'll be people out there doing a fantastic job for that price. Don't want to um, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I want clients that this is what they want to spend the money on, not because they think they can.
Mm.
It's like they have the budget to say, right, we'll get this done.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Could help
yeah,
win more jobs. That's
definitely
all.
win.
Mm.
Yeah, it could, but at the same time, it's like it's a tricky one. And by all means, the person that could afford to spend might just want to use the Klarna anyway. So it's like gives them an option.
I've had a few people pay on credit card.
Yeah,
It's a fairly normal thing, I think, but
yeah, very normal.
it's quite hard to do a
that
bank
and
transfer,
then-
though, isn't it?
Yeah,
So I use SumUp. So you can
Uh,
send like a link from SumUp
yeah.
to the customer, and they just input their details. But obviously, you get
I
percentages take off.
use the PayPal Zettel. They can put their credit card on PayPal and just pay that way.
Mm.
Because then if there was ever a problem, they tried to reverse the transaction, then there's a dispute to be made.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sneeze. Cool. All right then, mate. Well, it's good to chat again, and I'm sure we'll be
definitely
chatting over the next week or so.
Yeah, don't do yourself in on all these roof jobs.
No, like I say, just gonna do as much as possible over the next week and a half, and have some time
Get
off.
a mentor. Just get someone in to set you, like, you can just ask all the business questions and they can be like, that's a good idea, that's a bad idea, boom.
Yeah.
Yes, you
that's
can
the
afford
thing,
someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get there though. Like, just do it.
Cool. All right then, mate. We'll take
All right.
care,
Good
and
chat.
like I say, we'll chat soon again.
Yeah, take it easy.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you.
Later.